Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's having a great 3-day weekend. For me, I'm having a 4-day weekend just because the Air Force gives us a family day. So they give us an extra day every time that there's an observed holiday, which is pretty awesome. I wanted to talk to you today about my experience living in Germany and all the traveling that we got to do. We moved to Germany back in August of 2013. We were there for 3 years. So the day we got to Germany, we landed on the base since they have their own airport. From that point on, we had to go straight to a hotel. Omar had a sponsor, so it's basically someone from his squadron that basically picked us up from the airport, took us to our TLF. It's temporary lodging something like that. It's basically a hotel on base. So we stayed there, I think, for almost a month until we were able to find a house off base, or we had the option to live on base, but we chose to live off base. We first moved into an apartment there. We stayed there for like a year. Then when we got Zoe, we moved to on base, and we stayed there for almost a year. And then we moved again to another house. It was probably like 30 minutes from Ramstein Air Base. Our first year there was pretty hard on us, just because it was our first time living away from home, and it was overseas. Our second year, I got like a really good job. I think our second year we did like the most traveling, and then our third year went by really fast because we continued to travel. And just with PCSing, the way it works is you, like, the last couple of months you're there, you're preparing to leave, so that just occupies all your time. What I liked about living overseas was I got to experience a different culture other than Americans, and then the Hispanic culture that we're from in Tucson, Arizona. I also like the fact that we were able to travel within Europe for so cheap, and just experience and see all these amazing places that many people don't have, the opportunity to do so. So that's what I really liked about living overseas the most. Another thing I did like about living overseas, especially in Germany, was the Autobahn. I think everyone who's ever driven with me knows that I can be a bit of a crazy driver. So it was awesome for me, especially our last year living there, since I had to use the Autobahn frequently to commute from and to work. So it was a lot of fun. There's sections in the Autobahn where they do have a speed limit, and then there's other sections where they don't have a speed limit. But I think I was speeding even when they did have a speed limit, but it's okay. What I didn't like about living overseas is being so far away from the United States and being away from family and everyone back home. The other thing that I didn't like about living overseas is the language barrier. It was very hard to communicate. We didn't even bother, we learned some words, like few words, whatever, thank you, hi, bye, just like the basics. We didn't want to, at least I didn't want to learn the language because I can't even learn Spanish fluently, so why in the hell am I going to pick up another language that it just sounds like gibberish? One of the challenges about living overseas was definitely being away from family, especially in times where you just feel like you want to go to your mom's house or your dad's house and just hang out or hug them. And it was also hard having that time difference. It was basically almost a whole day, but it was only 8 to 9 hours, but still it was really hard to you know, communicate with families. Another challenging thing about living overseas was, I think, making friends. I mean, I'm not a person to like put myself out there and go make friends, but I think I'm just so used to like having friends from back home. I'm like, how am I gonna find friends like them, you know? I made friends while I was in Germany. Obviously they're in the military or military affiliated. They're from work or Omar's work. I had friends that were spouses. I had friends that were in the military. And they don't, like, friends in the military aren't friends. They're more like family because you guys are somewhat all going through like the same thing, especially like being overseas. So I don't like to consider them friends. I feel like they became my family. My favorite part about living overseas was definitely the traveling. I mean, we were able to go to Spain. We went to Mallorca, Spain. It's basically like a little, isn't it? Yeah. It's a little island like on the side of Spain. It was very beautiful. We stayed on this one beach called Magaluf, and that was like the funnest place ever, especially if you like to party. But there was definitely a lot of young kids there. Literally people partied till like 6 in the morning. It was like Vegas on steroids. Another place we got to travel when my family came to visit me, I think it was our first year there. We had went to Italy, we went to the Vatican, and then we visited some places in Rome, or we were in Rome. I think the Vatican is considered a different country, something like that. We also went to Venice, and then we stayed like at a little island like right outside of Venice, so we had to take a boat trip back to go to Venice. And the little area that we stayed at, it was really nice. We got to like really experience the culture. Like, it was very hidden, secluded from like all the touristy parts, and it was so much fun because I had my family there and it was just a blast. Another place we got to visit was Paris-France. The Eiffel Tower was amazing. We went to Paris, I think, 2 times? Yeah, 2 times. Our first time we went, we made it a day trip, and me and Omar just drove there, and we walked all the way to the Eiffel Tower and took pictures, and it was during the winter time. I think it was like a week after New Year's. The second time was when my family was there visiting us, and that time we actually got to go up the Eiffel Tower all the way to the top, and the view up there was pretty amazing. When you look down, people look like little insects. It was pretty cool. Other places we went to were the Netherlands, right? We went to Amsterdam, and man, it was a lot of fun. And you know, when you go to Amsterdam, you have to really go out, you know, when you're in Amsterdam. When we went there, we stayed maybe like 30 minutes from the city, and we took like a bus ride or whatever to like the main city where the red light district is and all those shops and stuff like that. We definitely hit up the red light district, and we also got to see like the Prosties in the glass windows, and they really are pretty. But while we were there, we did want to visit the Anne Frank house, but we didn't get to just because I think the tickets were sold out and then the line was super long, and we weren't about to wait in no goddamn line. So we got to see it from the outside. We also visited the Heineken factory there. That was pretty fun. And other places we went to, Belgium. Belgium was really cool. Was it Brussels? Brussels? Belgium. We went there and we visited the okay, so Brussels, Belgium was pretty cool. We got to visit the stop it. Leave him alone. The Delirium Cafe. That was pretty cool. The atmosphere there was like college kids. People there were pretty cool. We also got to see the mannequin piss. It's like a little statue of a guy peeing in like a fountain or something. They also had one where there was like a girl like squatting down and peeing. That was pretty funny. The beer there was amazing. The chocolate was even better. Where else did we go? In Germany, we visited. Where did we go? Went to Oktoberfest. That is in Munich, Germany. Oktoberfest was an amazing experience. There's people from all over the world that go. So Oktoberfest is basically this big beer festival. They have like all kinds of tents, and their beer there is it's like very delicious. I don't like beer. I'm not a fan of beer, but that beer was good. It was refreshing too. Man, Germans know how to drink. But yeah, the people there, they like dress in lederhosens or something like that. But I didn't get to dress up. I was like, it was kind of like a last minute trip. We went with some guys from Omar's work, and it was pretty fun. Garmisch, Germany. That place is amazing. Garmisch, Germany. So when we stayed there, they had a military resort there. We didn't stay at the resort. We stayed like in the city kind of or whatever. So in Garmisch there is the Bavarian Alps. They're very beautiful. We also visited a castle while we were there. We went hiking a little. We also seen the gorge. It's basically like a split between mountains and like waterfalls down, and it's very beautiful. Let's see, what else did we do there? We biked all the way to this lake, and the bike ride down was nice, but the bike ride up was horrible. I thought I was gonna die. When we were there, we also got to visit the Olympic ski stadium. We also visited Croatia. That is a country that's like off to the side of Italy, I think. We went to Zadar, and there they have it's kind of like rocky beaches, so it's not like a sandy beach. The water is very beautiful though. We went to visit the Krka National Park, and that's where they have those beautiful waterfalls. We went to go visit the Kornati Islands of Croatia, and that's where they have like these very beautiful cliffs. Well, that's basically my experience living overseas. Overall, it was amazing. We came back to the United States August of 2016. And we're happy to be back home. We're closer to family. We get to go home kind of almost whenever we want, but we really don't, just because it still does cost money, but it wouldn't cost as much as flying from overseas to home. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.